Welcome to another RSR. Tonight I'm reviewing Tigres UANL 1, Columbus Crew 1, 2-2 on aggregate, tied. Penalties. We go to penalties. 3-4 on penalties. Columbus moves on to the semifinals of the CONCACAF Champions Cup. In CONCACAF Champions Cup 2024 quarterfinal leg 2. They move on to play Miami or Monterrey. We will find out who they play at the end of tomorrow night, the final game of this round. We find out whoever wins that tie will play Columbus Crew. We could have an all-MLS semifinal or MLS versus Liga MX semifinal with a last man standing vibe to it. Tigres UANL 1, Columbus Crew 1 esta noche. 2-2 global, empate en penales 3-4. Columbus avanzar a las semifinales de la Copa Campeones de la CONCACAF. En la Copa Campeones de la CONCACAF, cuartos de final partido vuelta. Big win for Columbus. They get it done. They spot them a goal in the first 5 minutes. Almost spot them 2 more, but both were called offside. Very similar situations for all 3. First half wasn't great for Columbus. Goals were scored as follows. In the 3rd minute, Andre-Pierre Gignac dispossesses Patrick Schulte, pops the ball into the net to make it 1-0, 1-0 esta noche, 2-1 global, 2-1 on aggregate. Then another offside goal earlier, around the 10th minute, the first 10 minutes, called offside, very similar situation. Then in the 45+1, Marcelo Flores passes it to Gignac, who's way offside. He taps it in. They call it offside. So at the half, it ends up being 1-0 Tigres, 1-0 esta noche, 2-1 global. They have the lead. 59th minute, Diego Rossi gets the goal in the first leg to make sure it is a draw. Then, in the second half, to make sure it's a draw once again, Diego Rossi, ball finds his foot. He pops it in past Rodriguez to make it 1-1. The hero of this tie, Diego Rossi. 1-1 on the night. 1-1 esta noche. 2-2 global. Empate de la goals de visitar. 2-2 on aggregate. Tied on away goals. Full time, it ends up being 1-1, 1-1. Esta noche, 2-2, global. Empate de la goals de visitar, 2-2 on aggregate, tied on away goals, 1-1 on the night. We go to extra time. Now, if it's still tied on aggregate after 90, it doesn't matter. Or tied after 120 on aggregate and in the regular score. Means we go to penalties. Halftime of extra time, 1-1. 1-1 esta noche, 2-2 global, empate, 2-2 on aggregate. It's tied, 1-1 on the night. Then we play another 15 minutes, 1-1 on the night, 1-1 esta noche, 2-2 on aggregate. It's tied, 2-2 global, empate. We go to penalties. Tigres penalty takers, Andre-Pierre Gignac, saved by Patrick Schulte. It is 0-1 or 0-0. Diego Rossi, the man who made this game get the penalties pretty much over both legs, scores. Puts it past Rodriguez. 0-1. 0-1. We go back. Guido Pizarro misses his penalty. Saved. Columbus still have the lead. 0-1. 0-1. Jason Russell Rowe finds his penalty in the back of the net. 2-0. 0-2, 0-2, Columbus have the front foot. Osiel Herrera scores to keep Tigres alive. 1-2, 1-2. Alexandru Matan freezes, puts the match on ice with a beautiful penalty. 1-3, 1-3. Sebastian Cordova scores his to make sure that the decision is in Columbus's hands. It's 2-3. 2-3. Cucho Hernandez saved. Misses his penalty. Actually, no, he posted it. It wasn't even a save by Rodriguez. It was posted by Cucho. Still 2-3. 2-3. Jesus Angulo slots his home to tie the match up on penalties. 3-3, 3-3. Columbus has to score to win. They at least have sudden death. Max Arfston comes up and slots his penalty home into a wide open net. Rodriguez the wrong way. 3-4, 3-4. Columbus advances to the semifinals. 1-1 on the night. 1-1 esta noche. 2-2 global. 2-2 on aggregate. 3-4 on penalties. 3-4 en penales. Columbus avanzar a las semifinales de la Concachampions de la CONCACAF. They move to the semifinals of this tournament. Beautiful game. Amazing game. It was a partidazo esta noche. Full-time stats are as follows. 14 shots to 11, 7 shots on goal to 3, 46% possession to 54% possession, 531 passes to 619, 85% pass accuracy to 85, 20 fouls to 12, 9 offside to 0, 2 yellow cards to 1, 0 red cards to 0, 5 corners to 5. Was the refereeing bad tonight? Yes. Should Tigres have had at least a 2-1 lead? A 2-1 win after 90? Yes. I think the second goal, the first offside goal, was a goal. I think it should have been called a goal. I don't think it was offside. They called offside. Bad call. Leads to Columbus getting their goal and holding on till penalties and winning on penalties. Yeah, the refereeing wasn't great tonight. I think after that, those 2 offsides, it definitely became more biased towards Tigres. I think there was a penalty that could have easily made the game 2-2 as well, which would have also made sure it didn't go to penalties if that goal was stood. But I think both teams got screwed over by the ref tonight. I think the reffing was just horrible tonight overall. That's the first thing. Second of all, Columbus did not play well in the first half. They did not look good at all in the first half of this match. They looked weak. They looked shelled. They looked shell-shocked. Maybe that first goal, the way it went down, I can understand that. They looked shell-shocked. They looked very off the mark. Jones, I don't think, played well in the stead of Aiden Morris. Losing Aiden Morris for 90 minutes or 120 was not great, I gotta say. Good thing he'll be back for the next round. Good thing they're through and he will be back because they need Aiden Morris. I could tell you that much. Aiden Morris is needed for Columbus Crew. He is a needed player. Losing him was not great at all. For most of this tie, to be totally honest, losing him was not great. And they still got through. They only played Cucho for the second game, the whole second game. He still missed a penalty. Didn't play the first match. They spotted him 90 minutes without Cucho. They still won on penalties. I mean, Columbus, the second half, what I'm saying is in the second half, Columbus got the goal. They defended well. They still went for it during the second half. Almost got a second. Should have had a penalty that gave him a second, which I think was in the second half, so they should have won anyway. Had a couple of chances where they could have made it a second anyway late on in the second half. They honestly should have. Had a couple of chances in extra time. They did go to penalties, but they fought. The second half, extra time, penalties, Columbus was amazing. They had the chance and they took it. Was it the best performance adding the first half? No. Was it perfect second half and on? Oh, for sure. It was a perfect performance. They did exactly what they needed to do, and they got a little bit of help. Arguable bad help, but they got help nonetheless. And they got it done. Diego Rossi, for me, is the man of the match. Honestly, he's the man of the tie. Let's put it like that. Diego Rossi is the man of the tie because he made sure they got to this situation, the penalty situation with 2 goals in this tie. The man of the match, for me, is Patrick Schulte and Max Arfston. Both of them. And you could say Patrick Schulte gave up the goal in the first 3 minutes that almost sank them. This is true. But that penalty shootout and the rest of the game was such a good performance. One bad moment does not equal throw the baby out with the bathwater. No, he had an amazing performance after that first goal. The first 15 minutes, to be totally honest. But most of that game, he was on point. He made 2 saves in the shootout. He was amazing there. penalty shootout MVP, man of the match, Patrick Schulte. Max Arfsten, my God, what a shift he put in, getting the winning goal. Out of nowhere, he made a name for himself. And I got to respect that. So amazing for Max Arfsten to get that winning goal. Cucho played well, but didn't really do anything. Jason Russell-Rowe, I thought, played well. Columbus fought hard. They did exactly what they needed to do, and they won a penalty shootout and drew over 120 minutes in El Volcan. They did exactly what they needed to do, and it was amazing. Amazing. Toronto didn't even win on the night at El Volcan. They lost 3-2, won on away goals. Columbus went down there, drew on the night, and won on penalties. That is amazing. Also a Tim Bezbatchenko ran team. That's my point. Columbus is in a really good position. I said they could win this tournament. That first leg didn't really give me the best hope, but damn, they fought. And the first half of this game, but damn, they fought. They fought. They did not play a perfect 180 plus 30, 90, 210 minutes. They did not. But in the end, they did enough. In that 180, 210 minutes that they got through and they won on penalties, and that I respect. Tigres, if I were you, dear Lord, y'all did not want it. It did not go your way. You did not do enough at all. At all. It did not go your way. And you could say, but we still got caught offside twice and one of them shouldn't have been. Fair. Y'all still lost. Tigres blew this. Columbus earned this. Tigres legitimately blew this. And I have not a bad feeling, but here's my thought. You blew it. You blew it. Tigres should have easily, I'm surprised this was a draw, to be totally honest. Columbus should have lost, even with their best players. I felt like they could draw. I did not think it would be a draw. There was a difference. But in the end, they did what I felt they could do and won on penalties. Tigres, y'all, that performance was lackadaisical. That was lackadaisical. Your age is showing. Experience-wise, it's a good thing to have. The way these players were playing, that age was showing. Gignac was slow. Dude tried to fight out a cramp, and he missed a penalty. I've never seen that out of Andre-Pierre Gignac, to miss a penalty in a big moment like that. That's sad. Against Patrick Schulte, who is a better penalty saver than Rodriguez, but still, Gignac has beaten better goalkeepers, and he misses that penalty. Gets saved. Not just over the bar, but saved. I'd rather miss over the bar if I was Gignac. At least that's less embarrassing. He got saved. Guido Pizarro got saved. But again, he's not a notorious penalty scorer. Tigres blew this game. Point blank. Point blank, they blew this game. I thought Columbus was going to win this tie going in. I was right. Not the way I thought it would go down, but they got it done. Tigres, as I said, your age would show, and it did. Y'all could not punish a midfield without Aiden Morris. Y'all could not score multiple goals when they spotted you 90 minutes without Cucho and a further 20 minutes without Aiden Morris. You legitimately basically said, we're fine. We're going to win at home. You drew, you lost. This is just depressing. It's sad. It really is sad because I expect better out of Tigres. I know they could be better. But again, they are stuck with this core that is aging because Sebastian Cordova had a heater during a Liga and won a trophy. As I told you, I had a funny feeling that Liga trophy over Chivas would be the worst thing to ever happen to Tigres. Turns out I was right. Because it made you feel like there was still legs in that old core of Pizarro, Carioca, and Nahuel and Gignac. Hate to tell you, Aquino as well. I hate to tell you, it was already showing back then, but it's just been kept showing that this team is getting older. You have to make changes. Marcelo Flores is playing well. I'll give him that. He played well tonight. Cordova's playing well. You have Oziel. You do have those new pieces. Play them more, is my point. That's what you learn from this. And by the way, fire Siboldi. I told you, he's a joke of a manager. Y'all thought you could coast by on your talent. Dude, he did the same thing with Cruz Azul. He's a joke. I hate how Tigres fans were like, oh, he's not a joke. No, he is. Did you not see what he did with Cruz Azul? He's not the reason they won that Liga that ends up being the worst thing that ever happened to you. Because it made you think you still had gas in the tank when it was still getting very, very close to E, and then you finally let it hit E, unbeknownst, and you're still somehow driving, but that freaking muffler is coughing out dark smoke. Exhaust fumes. Yeah, there we go. Dark smoke, exhaust fumes. That freaking exhaust pipe is coughing. Put gas in that car. You have the gas. Take the tank. Take the canister out of your freaking, what's the word? Boot, trunk, and pour that damn thing in the gas container. You have the container. Pour it in the tank. Get out your trunk, pour it in the tank. You have a chance. Not here, but in Liga MX. Seriously, it's ending. The good times are ending. The best times are ending. You don't make that move to the next era while you have that still there, which I don't know if you do. It's not going to be fun. I know it's hard moving on from a good era, and then they have their last gasp. They have their rattle, and you're like, we still have some stuff in this. No, you don't. Move on to the new era. You have your pieces. Move on to your new era. Just saying. With that being said, though, congratulations, Columbus. Felicidades, Columbus, and Felicidades, Club America. You both moved on to the semifinals because 9-1 on aggregate for America. They're through, too. So there you go. Commiserations to Tigres and New England. There you go. With that being said, if you like this video, like it, share, subscribe. You know what it is. Tell your friends. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell notification once subscribed. Send some chats on the live stream. Comment on this video. Put it to the playlist. Share with friends and family. All that great stuff. I will see you tomorrow for a live watch along of both Pachuca versus Herediano and Monterrey versus Inter de Miami, and a review of Monterrey versus Inter de Miami. So the second, both quarterfinals tomorrow, I will be live for, and I will review one. And we'll have our coverage over for the quarters at the end, well, of Thursday because of the recap and semifinal predictions. But you know what I mean. With that being said, though, I'm Ron and I'm out. Peace. See you later. What a game.